Giving all praises to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Presenting the 70 missing verses in 2nd Esdras, titled Hell, the Pit of Torment. 2nd Esdras is one of the 14 books of the Apocrypha, removed from the original 1611 King James Bible, leaving a total of 66 books in current versions of the Bible, predominantly distributed today. The 70 missing verses are not a part of the King James Version Apocrypha, but are revealed in the Cambridge Annotated Study Bible. Side note: amongst scholars, the book of Esdras and the 70 missing verses are considered spurious. However, it is my opinion that the barometer of truth should always be the scriptures themselves. For the serious student, compare these 70 missing verses in 2nd Esdras to the Gospel of Luke, chapter 16, verse 19 through the end of the chapter, and also compare 1 Samuel chapter 28, verses 13 through 15. Now presenting 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, verse 36 through 105, New Revised Standard Version. The pit of torment shall appear, and opposite it shall be the place of rest, and the furnace of hell shall be disclosed, and opposite it the paradise of delight. Then the Most High will say to the nations that have been raised from the dead, look now and understand, whom you have denied, whom you have not served, whose commandments you have despised. Look on this side and on that. Here are delight and rest, and there are fire and torments. Thus he will speak to them on the day of judgment, a day that has no sun or moon or stars, or cloud or thunder or lightning, or wind or water or air, or darkness or evening or morning, or summer or spring, or heat or winter or frost or cold or hail or rain or dew, or noon or night, or dawn or shining or brightness or light, but only the splendor of the glory of the Most High, by which all shall see what has been destined. It will last as though for a week of years. This is my judgment and its prescribed order. And to you alone have I shown these things. I answered and said, O sovereign Lord. I said then, and I say now, blessed are those who are alive and keep your commandments. But what of those for whom I prayed? For who among the living is there that has not sinned? Or who is there among mortals that has not transgressed your covenant? And now I see that the world to come will bring delight to a few, but torments to many. For an evil heart has grown up in us, which has alienated us from God, and has brought us into corruption and the ways of death, and has shown us the path of perdition, and removed us far from life. And that not merely for a few, but for almost all who have been created. He answered me and said, Listen to me, Ezra, and I will instruct you, and I will admonish you once more. For this reason the Most High has made not one world, but two, inasmuch as you have said that the righteous are not many but few, while the ungodly abound. Hear the explanation for this. If you have just a few precious stones, will you add to them lead or clay? I said, Lord, how could that be? And he said to me, Not only that, but ask the earth, and she will tell you. Defer to her, and she will declare it to you. Say to her, You produce gold, and silver, and bronze, and also iron, and lead, and clay. But silver is more abundant than gold, and bronze than silver, and iron than bronze, and lead than iron, and clay than lead. Judge therefore, which things are precious and desirable, those that are abundant, or those that are rare? I said, O sovereign Lord, that is plentiful is of less worth. For what is more rare than precious? He answered me and said, Consider within yourself what ye have thought. For the person who has what is hard to get rejoices more than the person who has what is plentiful. So also will be the judgment that I have promised. For I will rejoice over the few who shall be saved, because it is they who have made my glory to prevail now. And through them my name has now been honored. I will not grieve over the great number of those who perish, for it is they who are now like a mist, and are similar to a flame and smoke. They are set on fire and burn hotly, and are extinguished. I replied and said, O earth, what have you brought forth? If the mind is made out of the dust, like the other created things. For it would have been better if the dust itself had not been born, so that the mind might not have been made from it. But now the mind grows with us. Therefore we are tormented, because we perish and we know it. Let the human race lament, but let the wild animals of the field be glad. Let all who have been born lament, but let the cattle and the flocks rejoice. It is much better with them than with us, for they do not look after for a judgment, and they do not know of any torment or salvation promised to them after death. What does it profit us that we shall be preserved alive, but cruelly tormented? For all who have been born are entangled in iniquities, and are full of sins and burdened with transgressions. And if after death we are not come into judgment, perhaps it would have been better for us. He answered me and said, When the Most High made the world, and Adam, and all who have come from him, he first prepared the judgment and the things that pertain to the judgment. But now understand from your own words, for you have said that the mind grows with us. For this reason, therefore, those who live on earth shall be tormented, because though they had understanding, they committed iniquity. And though they received the commandments, they did not keep them. And though they obtained the law, they dealt unfaithfully with what they received. What then will they have to say in the judgment? Or how will they answer in the last times? How long? The Most High has been patient with those who inhabit the world, and not for their sake, but because of the times that he has foreordained. I answered and said, if I have found favor in your sight, O Lord, show this also to your servant, whether after death, as soon as every one of us yields up the soul, we shall be kept in rest until those times come when you will renew the creation, or whether we shall be tormented at once. He answered me and said, I will show you that also, but do not include yourself with those who have shown scorn, or number yourself among those who are tormented. For you have a treasure of works stored up with the Most High, but it will not be shown to you until the last times. Now concerning death, the teaching is, when the decisive decree has gone out from the Most High that a person shall die, as the spirit leaves the body to return again to him who gave it, first of all it adores the glory of the Most High. If it is one of those who have shown scorn and have not kept the way of the Most High, who have despised his law and hated those who fear God, such spirits shall not enter into habitations, but shall immediately wander about in torments, always grieving and sad in 7 ways. The first way, because they have scorned the law of the Most High. The second way, because they cannot now make a good repentance so that they may live. The third way, they shall see the reward laid up for those who have trusted the covenants of the Most High. The fourth way, they shall consider the torment laid up for themselves in the last days. The fifth way, they shall see how the habitations of the others are guarded by angels in profound quiet. The sixth way, they shall see how some of them will cross over into torments. The seventh way, which is worse than all the ways that have been mentioned, because they shall utterly waste away in confusion and be consumed with shame, and shall wither with fear at seeing the glory of the Most High, in whose presence they sinned while they were alive, and in whose presence they are to be judged in the last times. Now this is the order of those who have kept the ways of the Most High, when they shall be separated from their mortal body. During the time that they have lived in it, they laboriously served the Most High and withstood danger every hour, so that they may keep the law of the lawgiver perfectly. Therefore, this is the teaching concerning them. First of all, they shall see with great joy the glory of him who receives them, for they shall have rest in 7 orders. The first order, because they have striven with great effort to overcome the evil thought that was formed with them, so that it might not lead them astray from life into death. The second order, because they see the perplexity in which the souls of the ungodly wander and the punishment that awaits them. The third order, they see the witness that he who formed them bears concerning them, that throughout their life they kept the law with which they were entrusted. The fourth order, they understand the rest that they now enjoy, being gathered into the chambers and guarded by angels in profound quiet, and the glory waiting for them in the last days. The fifth order, they rejoice that they have now escaped what is corruptible and shall inherit what is to come. And besides, they see the straits and toil from which they have been delivered, and the spacious liberty that they are to receive and enjoy in immortality. The sixth order, when it is shown them how their faces is to shine like the sun, and how they are to be made like the light of the stars, being incorruptible from then on. The seventh order, which is greater than all that have been mentioned, because they have rejoiced with boldness, and shall be confident without confusion, and shall be glad without fear. For they press forward to see the face of him whom they served in life, and from whom they are to receive their reward when glorified. This is the order of the souls of the righteous, as henceforth is announced. And the previously mentioned are the ways of torment that those who would not give heed shall suffer hereafter. Then I answered and said, will time therefore be given to the souls after they have been separated from the bodies, to see what you have described to me? He said to me, they shall have freedom for 7 days, so that during these 7 days they may see the things of which you have been told, and afterwards they shall be gathered in their habitations. I answered and said, if I have found favor in your sight, show further to me, your servant, whether on the day of judgment the righteous will be able to intercede for the ungodly, or to entreat the Most High for them. Fathers for sons, or sons for parents, brothers for brothers, relatives for their kindred, or friends for those who are most dear. He answered me and said, since you have found favor in my sight, I will show this also. The day of judgment is decisive and displays to all the seal of truth. Just as now a father does not send his son, or a son his father, or a master his servant, or a friend his dearest friend, to be ill, or sleep, or eat, or be healed in his place. So no one shall ever pray for another on that day. Neither shall anyone lay a burden on another. For then all shall be their own righteousness and unrighteousness. 2 Esdras 7:36 through 105. New Revised Standard. Ariel Ben Yehuda, Israelites of the Way, preparing for Judgment Day.